Dear viewers, welcome. This heartfelt story follows CEO Toan and his wife, Ly Tu Diem, as she enters her 8th month of pregnancy and faces the challenges of severe morning sickness. From the baby's very first kick to the emotional tears of Toan's mother, each moment reveals the deep love and growing bond within the family. It's a journey filled with anticipation, quiet sacrifices, and the purest kind of happiness. If you enjoy warm, emotional stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow the next episodes. The late afternoon sun poured softly into the Tran family's cozy living room, casting a golden hue across the polished wooden floor. The curtains danced gently in the breeze, and everything felt warm, peaceful, like time had slowed down just for this moment. Ly Tu Diem sat comfortably on the plush cream sofa, wrapped in a soft shawl. Her 8-month pregnant belly rose and fell gently with every breath she took. There was a tiredness in her face, the kind only mothers-to-be truly understood. But beyond the fatigue was a glow, an unmistakable serenity that made her beauty seem even more ethereal. Her hands caressed her belly in slow, circular motions, her fingers tracing the invisible shape of her unborn son. From the kitchen, CEO Toan walked in with a cup of warm milk in his hand. His shirt sleeves were rolled up, and his usually serious face carried a rare tenderness. "Here," he said gently, placing the cup into her hands. "The doctor said calcium helps the baby's bones. Drink this, love." Tu Diem smiled faintly, taking the cup. Before she could take a sip, she suddenly paused, eyes widening. "Toan," she gasped softly, one hand instinctively flying to her belly. The baby just kicked really strong this time. Toan's expression instantly shifted from calm to excited. He sat down beside her, leaning in, his hand joining hers over her round belly. For a moment, all was still. Then, a small but firm thump met his palm. Toan's eyes lit up. "He did it again," he exclaimed, laughing softly. "Our boy's saying hello." At that very moment, Toan's mother stepped into the room, carrying a small plate of cut fruit. She stopped mid-step, noticing the look on their faces. "What's going on?" she asked, setting the plate down and walking over. "The baby's kicking," Diem said, smiling with a joy she couldn't quite put into words. Without hesitation, the older woman reached out her hand. "Let me feel too," she whispered. Her palm gently pressed against Diem's belly, and within seconds, another tiny kick. 3 generations, grandmother, father, and mother, were connected in that instant by the soft, magical movement of a life not yet born. There were no words. Just laughter, wide eyes, and unspoken awe. Toan glanced at his wife, then at his mother. He suddenly felt the weight and wonder of it all, the legacy of love, the bond of family. This wasn't just a kick. It was a sign. A heartbeat. A tiny promise of tomorrow. "It feels like he's trying to tell us something," Diem whispered, still stunned by the strength of that little foot. "Like he wants us to know he's here. He's real." Toan's mother sat down beside her, gently smoothing Diem's hair like a mother would with her own child. "He's strong, just like his father," she said, her voice full of affection. "But more than anything, he knows he's already loved by all of us." Toan leaned closer, placing a soft kiss on Diem's temple. His hand remained on her belly, feeling for more. But even if there were no more kicks tonight, that one moment had already filled his heart beyond measure. In the gentle hush of the evening, with only the rustling curtains and the sound of 3 people breathing in sync, something sacred was happening. It wasn't loud or grand. It was simple. Pure. A quiet afternoon transformed by the flutter of tiny feet. And in that moment, the world outside faded away. All that remained was love and the miracle growing stronger inside her every day. The living room was bathed in a gentle hush. After the thrill of the baby's kick, a profound stillness settled over them, one of those rare silences that only follow moments too sacred for words. Toan sat quietly beside Ly Tu Diem, his fingers still interlaced with hers. His other hand rested gently on her belly, hoping to feel another flutter, another tiny sign of life from their child. His heart still raced, yet his face now wore a look of quiet wonder and deep gratitude. His mother slowly lowered herself into a chair beside them. For a long moment, she said nothing. Her eyes, however, were fixed on Diem's round belly, as if she were looking back in time, reliving the moment she herself had once felt her own child move for the very first time. At last, in a voice rich with memory and warmth, she spoke. "When I was pregnant with you, Toan," she said softly, "I remember the first time you kicked. It was quiet, just like now. But it shook me to the core. I was alone in the room, and suddenly I knew I wasn't alone anymore." A gentle smile touched her lips, but her eyes glistened. One tear escaped and rolled slowly down her cheek. She didn't wipe it away. That single tear carried decades of love, sacrifice, and silent strength. Toan turned to her, and without a word, placed his hand over hers. "Mom," he said, voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for everything." She squeezed his hand, then looked at Diem with affection in her gaze. "And now, seeing my grandchild move inside of you, I feel it again. The same warmth. The same miracle. You are bringing life into this world, just as I once did. And that fills me with pride I cannot put into words." Diem's eyes welled up, her throat tight. She reached out and laid her hand over her mother-in-law's, adding her own warmth to the moment. "Thank you, me, for loving me as your own." The older woman looked at her with unwavering tenderness. "You are my daughter," she said without hesitation. "Blood means little. The heart decides who we love. And I love you not only because you carry my grandchild, but because you've brought peace and happiness into my son's life." Toan looked at the 2 women with softened eyes, overwhelmed. These were the 2 people he loved most in the world, and watching them share this moment of unity and emotion touched something deep within him. This wasn't just a milestone in a pregnancy. It was the transfer of legacy. A mother's strength, her love, was being passed on to the next generation. Outside, the sun was dipping low, casting soft golden light across their faces. In that light, Diem looked ethereal, hands cradling her belly, tears on her cheeks, but her face serene. She was more than a mother-to-be. She was becoming a foundation, shaped by love, supported by those who came before her. Toan leaned in, pressing his forehead to hers. "You're not alone," he whispered. "Whenever the pain comes, whenever you're tired, remember this moment. We're all here, for you and for our son." Diem nodded gently. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I will. I'll carry this moment with me, always." The baby stirred again, softly, like a heartbeat echoing their love. As if he knew he was already a part of something sacred. In that tender silence, no grand speeches were needed. A mother's tear. A son's quiet gratitude. A daughter-in-law embraced by a new legacy. 3 hearts. 3 generations. United by the tiniest kick and a love destined to endure forever. It was late. The house had finally grown quiet, the warmth of the evening settling gently over every room. While the others had gone to sleep, Toan remained awake, his mind still dancing with the rhythm of his child's earlier kicks. Seeing Diem smile, the tears in his mother's eyes, the love flowing effortlessly between generations, it was more than a memory. It was a gift. He walked back into the bedroom where Ly Tu Diem lay resting, her hand protectively over her belly. Her eyes opened the moment she sensed his presence, and when he smiled, she smiled back, tired, yet radiant. "Come," he whispered, offering her his hand. "Let's get some fresh air." Moments later, they sat together on the wooden porch just outside their home. The moon hung full and round in the sky, casting a soft silver glow over the garden and trees. Crickets sang in the distance, and the night air was cool and clean. Toan gently wrapped a shawl around Diem's shoulders and sat beside her, cradling her hand in his. His other hand found its way again to her belly, just in time to feel a soft kick. He looked up at her with wonder. "He's awake," Diem whispered, her eyes fixed on the moon. Toan nodded, chuckling softly. "Seems like he loves the night, just like his mom." Diem leaned her head against his shoulder, exhaling a long, contented sigh. "Do you think he'll look like you?" she asked. Toan shook his head. "I hope he looks like you. And I hope he has your strength, your kindness, your courage." There was a pause, then Diem whispered, "You know, earlier, when I was vomiting and shaking, I thought I might break. But then I heard your voice calling me, felt your mom's hands wiping my forehead, saw your sister bringing me warm lemon water. And I knew I'm not alone. I'm loved." Toan turned to her, wrapping his arm around her shoulders, pulling her gently into his embrace. "You'll never be alone," he said, his voice deep and full of warmth. "This family, my mother, my sister, me, we are your shelter. Even when storms come, when everything feels too much, just turn around. I'll always be here." They sat there for a long while, letting the night carry their silence. Only the baby's gentle kicks broke the stillness, soft reminders of the new life growing inside her, the future they were building together. In that quiet moment, surrounded by moonlight, love, and hope, Ly Tu Diem rested against her husband's chest. Her world might be changing every day, but his arms remained the same, safe, steady, and warm. And in the rhythm of that night, their little family grew, not just in number, but in love. A new chapter was beginning, and it was written in whispers, in moonlight, and in the heartbeat of a child yet to be born.